Madam Clerk, if you could please take the roll.
Counselor DiZoglio.
Present.
Counselor Drew.
Here.
Counselor McLaren.
Present.
Counselor Marsan.
Here.
Counselor Pesh.
Present.
Counselor Santos.
Present.
Counselor Samad.
Here.
Counselor Valley. And Chair Soto.
Present.
One absent.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Before we go into the public hearing, we'll give the mayor, public participation, we'll give the mayor the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to raise a calendar concern with the council tonight. So the next regular meeting that we have scheduled as of now is this coming Monday, June the 1st. Now, at this point, given the summer schedule for the council, there's the meeting in June at this point on the 1st, and there's not going to be another regular meeting until after the 4th of July. And there are going to be some things that we're going to have to do in terms of closing out the fiscal year, especially after the budget passes tonight, hopefully with your support. So with that, I wanted to make an ask of the chair to consider moving the date of the next meeting from June 1st to June 8th. That will lessen the amount of time in between regular meetings. That's something that I think might require a vote of the council. To do that, the solicitor can opine, but I wanted to make the request to tweak the meeting date from the 1st to the 8th.
So if the council can make a motion
I'll make a motion to move the January 1st meeting, the June 1st meeting to June 8th.
Second.
Okay. May I ask for a friendly amendment? The deadline for that would be June 2nd. I'd like for the deadline for the agenda.
To make the agenda for all the posting to be June 3rd.
Thank you. So they're first by Councilor Marsan, seconded by Councilor DiZoglio. Discussion.
Just full disclosure, I will be out of the country for that date, so it's the will of the council. It's fine either way. It's probably technical stuff at this point, but I'm voting no just because I won't be here.
Thank you, Councilor. Any further discussion on the date change? Seeing none, I'll take a roll call on that, Madam Clerk, just for clarity.
Counselor DiZoglio.
Yes.
Counselor Drew.
Yes.
Counselor McLaren.
Yes.
Counselor Marsan.
Yes.
Counselor Pesh.
No.
Counselor Santos.
Yes.
Counselor Samad.
Yes.
Counselor Valley.
Yes.
And Chair Soto.
Yes.
8 yes, 1 no.
Thank you. So the next meeting has been moved from June 1st to June 8th with a deadline of June 3rd for the administration. Thank you for that, councilors. There's also a meeting June 10th with community development, so please make sure you have that on your agenda. Okay. So we'll get, Mr. Mayor, is there anything you'd like to add, another statement today before we begin the second read?
No, nothing new since Thursday. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. All right, so City of Methuen fiscal year 2027 appropriation order expenditures. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts, an order concerning appropriations for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026. The following sums designates as personal services, other expense, equipment outlay, intergovernmental fuel, snow, reserve, other financing sources, uses, and debt service are hereby appropriated separately for each department in the general fund and Water and Sewer Enterprise Fund of the City of Methuen. With that being said, we'll start with the City Council.
Do we have public participation?
Yes, we do. We have the public participation.
At this time, we'll open public participation. Speakers are reminded to state their name and address for the record prior to speaking. Each speaker shall be allotted a maximum of 5 minutes to speak. They will receive a warning when 1 minute remains and will not be permitted to speak after the allotted time. Speakers, as well as audience members, are expected to conduct themselves in a respectful and orderly manner. Any disruptive behavior may result in immediate removal of such persons to restore order and ensure the orderly conduct of the meeting. Thank you. First up, we have Shannon Ireson.
I'm a third grade teacher at the Marsh Grammar School. I am here tonight to tell my story, one that I know many other employees of this city can relate to. 17 years ago, my son Cameron was born with a cleft lip, cleft palate due to popliteal pterygium syndrome, a rare genetic disorder which caused the cleft lip and cleft palate, along with lower lip pits and webbing in his lower extremities. A diagnosis that completely rocked our world but taught us many important life lessons. When he was born, he was rushed off to Children's Hospital Boston, where he was immediately cared for and is still cared for today. Cameron has endured multiple surgeries, therapies, and coaching through this amazing program, a program that we are all very lucky to only live 40 minutes away from. Next month, Cameron will begin the next step in his process. He will be completing his repairs with a complete jaw alignment and nose reconstruction, something he's been working towards for 18 years. While I don't have all the answers yet, I am diligently digging, and here's what I know so far. I know that while the GIC is accepted at Children's Hospital Boston, it is not accepted by all providers. What that means is surgeons who have known Cameron and his care plan will no longer be able to provide him these services. This interruption in care will affect his timeline and repairs. I stand before you today asking you to consider how this change will affect children like Cameron all across this city. Children who have needs that rely heavily on the care of their trusted providers. Please reject the insurance change. Let us protect the health, the development, and the future of our children. Thank you.
Kara Blatt.
Good evening. Thank you again for listening. It's kind of been a running date, unfortunately. So in January, Shannon, myself, and Sharon all stood with North Andover and multiple locals across the state against the GIC cuts. The reason is because the state always has to bail them out, and that insurance carriers won't always go on to the GIC, affecting the care that we all need. Also, the GIC does not provide the social emotional health programs that a lot of our police, firefighters, and other people that serve this city need, as well as even today, there was already one ambulance that showed up at my school alone that needed care. The Leahy is a great thing, and thank you for doing that citywide, because we as schools use that almost every day. It's a service that we need. But this insurance crisis was totally avoidable. For years, we have not budgeted, just like we haven't budgeted right for the city or the schools. And it's got to stop, because the countless hours I've spent on the phone in the last month over this, the retirees and everybody up here all want the care and benefits that they thought that they were going to get. Their families are impacted. People with severe illnesses, people with chronic illnesses, people with cancer, people with childhood diseases. All of this impacts their teams, and this change will make them have to shift. And for someone to tell me whether I'm grandstanding or not, or that we don't know what we're doing, I have a binder this big of cities that aren't in our financial crisis and self-insured and doing the right way. Methuen did not appropriately budget. They did the bare minimum, did not do their research, and years of not doing right by its citizens. So until we start, this is where we are, and we're not giving up. I am going to file more unfair labor practices, unfortunately, because the city department couldn't read the articles and sent us one without certifying mail before it brought up to you. That little errors is the errors that are costing our citizens the care they deserve. Telling us that we have to take pay freezes or we give up our insurance. That's just downright evil. So you guys have a decision to make. Start owning your mistakes, start owning what you owe the city, and start making the right choices for everybody.
Jim Trott.
Good evening. My name is Jim Trott. I'm one of the 2 elected members of the Methuen Retirement Board. I've been on the board for 36 years. And 25 years ago, Methuen was in the same mess that it's in today. And I was the president of the Firefighters Union, and the late Diane Dandretta was the president of the Teachers Union. We had some help from the professional firefighters of Massachusetts. They came down. We spoke with the mayor. She was doing something illegal that day, along with Jennifer Borislow. We stopped them from doing it. We met later that afternoon. We decided to become the 3rd city or town in the Commonwealth to go into the Section 19 coalition bargaining, and it worked very well. I retired 3 years later, and it seemed to have been going smoothly, and then all of a sudden this year, there's the major crisis again. I don't know what's going on in the city. I don't live here anymore, but I do represent a lot of the retirees. I get the phone calls when they go, well, what happened to my health insurance? The cost went up exponentially. I had no answer. And unfortunately, whatever happened January 1st, it seems to me that the split that was negotiated many years ago was unilaterally changed by the administration. I don't know if you councilors know what's going on day to day, but it's really not a good situation. And like the previous speakers ahead of me, you know, a lot of people my age, and I won't tell you how old I am, we're having a hard time. My doctor retired. I went to her for 40 years. I had a hard time finding a new primary care physician. It's not that easy anymore out there in the real world. So the shift, you know, you're throwing increases in costs, shifts of different insurance. I think you have to really stop and look at the big picture and do something not only for the employees who are working for you today, but also for the people who worked for many years. And we worked for you because we knew at the end of the term of our employment, we would get a pension and we would have good health care. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that didn't speak up that would like to speak? We did receive an email. Am I reading it or are we admitting it? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
My name is Lydia Carosa, and I live at 52 Shirley Ave, Methuen. I'm a 4th grader at the Tenney Grammar School. I'm here today to speak about losing my reading teacher specialist. I have a hard time reading, and my reading teacher helps me read every day. Right now, I am below grade level, but getting better, and without her helping me every day, I would be even more behind in reading. It makes me sad that next year when I move up to the upper school, that I might not have a reading teacher to help me read, and it scares me. I need help in reading, and so do a lot of other kids in my school. Reading specialists are really important to me and to the schools. We really need to keep them so we can all have a chance at being good at reading. Thank you for listening.
Is there anyone else that wanted to speak that didn't sign up? Am I reading this or are we putting it into the record?
Your choice, Madam Vice. That's the only one we received.
It's the only one. Yes, no, we admitted the others. That's why I'm asking.
You can admit it if you'd like. Last meeting, you had 7, I think to be fair, you could admit it into the record if you'd like, if you consider that fair, or if you consider that just because it's one today, you want to read it, then that's fine, but it's your call. Admit it into the record.
It's up either way.
Thank you. All right, so with that, we begin this evening. we're starting with our city council item. I'll take a motion
So
to
moved.
approve. Motion by Counselor Drew, seconded by Counselor Santos. Discussion. We did receive updated documentation in front of you from the changes made last meeting, last budget hearing. So those numbers are updated, correct, Madam Cathell? So those totals have changed from the previous meeting. And I have to go line item by line item on the city council because it is our own department. So I am on total personnel services, that's your first line item. So you're in discussion for that. You're at 261,791. I see none. I'll go into roll call.
Counselor DiZoglio.
Yes.
Counselor Drew.
Yes.
Counselor McLaren.
Yes.
Counselor Marsan.
Yeah.
Counselor Pesh.
Yes.
Counselor Santos.
Yes.
Counselor Samad.
Yes.
Counselor Valley.
Yes.
And Chair Soto.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Your next item is total other expenses. You're at 6,500. I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor Drew. Discussion. I'm at 6,500 for total other expenses. Yes, Counselor Drew.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to make a motion to cut $3,000 from the youth summer program. Again, I don't think this is the year for us to be doing this. I don't know of any intern program that is in place that is going to utilize this person appropriately. On top of that, it just doesn't seem like it's the right year. So again, I'm going to make a motion to cut $3,000 from the youth summer program.
I have
Second.
I have a motion from Counselor Drew, seconded by Counselor Samard. I'm in discussion regarding the $3,000 reduction for the youth. Counselor Santos.
I just feel that we're taking so much away from the education of our youth in our city that $3,000 is not going to make such a difference in our budget,
Okay.
and it's going to create a huge impact because it's just going to build trust. It's going to build some sense of building a city together with our youth.
Counselor Pesh.
Thanks. I understand what you're saying. I have to agree with Counselor Drew. This is one student. One student, and it's just the wrong year in my opinion. I wish we had put something into place to have an actual program to fit several students with this budget in, but I don't think it's the year for that either, and I don't want to do it on the fly. Thinking about the logistics of how this is going to unroll makes me very uneasy, I guess, is the word. I in good conscience, can't support this just with all the cuts that are being made.
Any other comments or concerns or Counselor
We
Santos?
can start with one student and then grow the program. $3,000 is not going to fix everything else we have to fix in this city.
I'm going to go to Counselor DiZoglio and then I'll come back to you.
So quick question. So if we do this program, he starts or she starts June, July, August. So we're giving them $1,000 stipend July and August, or is it June, July, and August?
It would be the entire summer.
Okay. So it'd
June-
be technically
June,
2
July.
months? Or
Well, it would be July, August, September, because beginning of September, because this is for budget 2027. Right. So I stand corrected.
okay. So $3,000 for $1,500 for per month. I was thinking about this, maybe cutting it in half for him or her to have somewhat of a stipend for the summer. But let's go through the vote first and see how everybody feels, and then I'll make that.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion on Counselor Drew?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I hear what Councilor Santos is saying about we don't want to take more from our students and we're already cutting things, but I'd rather see this money put into where we're going to see children being taught every day. This is not something that I'm saying we don't want to have children or a student in here working with us, but at the end of the day, $3,000, it's going to sound awful, but that's twice what a city councilor makes every month. We're going to have 2 city clerks, council clerks sitting back there doing the work of a council that only meets twice in July and August. It just seems like I don't understand. There is no actual intern plan in place that I feel comfortable enough looking at this line item and I can look at these people sitting in this audience and say to them, I think this makes total sense to us. So I'm making the cut for $3,000 and I'd like everybody to support that.
If I may. The program for the youth program is in collaboration with the programming that the mayor launched in the school committee. That would be a liaison that would work interdepartmental with the mayor's office, with our city council clerk's office. That hasn't been spelled out. It will be if approved through the HR department to set that up, and with some of the help with our council clerk and the CAFO. It's at the will of the council. If you want to have a student in this building learning from this administration, but also aiding you as council members this summer with constituent services, maybe potentially over at the senior center, maybe as well in collaboration with a school committee, and doing some of that work, helping you research for ordinances and resolutions, then so be it. But I think your mayor today is an example of a stipend-based program that happened here 20 years ago. And so that's the benefit of trusting local politics and being involved and continuing that work. So I think with that being said, I'll take it back and I'll take a roll call if there's no further discussion. Councilor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just one clarifying question. I'm not sure if this is through the mayor, since the sort of program that you're involved with, or the chair, but if we don't use all of this money, like, are we committing to, if we take a student on board, we're going to spend all $3,000 on them, or is it a place where we decide based upon how much work we're going to allocate to them, how many hours they're dedicating to the internship, how much we actually pay them? Because I hear Councilor Drew that is a good chunk of money as compared to, for example, how much we make. Not that I'm necessarily opposed to that, but in the interest of finding a middle ground, are we going to definitely spend $3,000, or what does that look like?
So the thinking that I have in support of the chair and her idea with including this, it would be an effort to try to bring on an intern to support not just the council, but other functions in the city as well. And the goal would be to ensure that we're able to fully put this to use. However, just keep in mind that if there are any allocations here in the budget that aren't expended, it falls to free cash at the end of the year. So just keep that in mind as well. If hypothetically it were not to be entirely used under a certain scenario.
Thank you.
Councilor Samard.
Thank you. Briefly, I just think the biggest thing is, what Councilor Drew was saying is optics. I have a tough time if we had to cut a reading specialist or limit the band, and here we are giving $3,000 to a position that we didn't have. So I think it all comes down to optics. It's a great program, it sounds like, but it's just optics, and that's why I'm a no vote.
Councilor, just for the sake of time, if we're going to reiterate, I'd like to go to roll call if everyone else feels comfortable. Is that okay with you? I know you stated your position twice.
Sure.
Madam Clerk.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Councilor DeZoglio.
No.
Councilor Drew.
Yes.
Councilor McLaren.
No.
Councilor Marsan.
No.
Councilor Pesh.
Yes.
Councilor Santos.
No.
Councilor Samad.
Yes.
Councilor Valley.
No.
And Chair Soto.
No.
Six no, 3 yes.
Motion fails. Correct? So on the main motion, the total other expenses,
I would like to motion to cut $2,000 from the summer program.
So moved.
I got a motion to cut $2,000 from the summer program. I feel like I'm at an auction. I second from Counselor Drew. If there's no further discussion, I'll take another roll call, or if anybody feels they want to speak on the 2,000 reduction. Madam Clerk.
Counselor DiZoglio.
Yes.
Counselor Drew.
Yes.
Counselor McLaren.
Yes.
Counselor Marsan.
No.
Counselor Pesh.
Yes.
Counselor Santos.
No.
Counselor Samad.
Yes.
Counselor Valley.
No.
And Chair Soto.
No.
5 yes, 4 no.
Motion carries. So that has been, line item has been reduced by $2,000, Madam Capo. Thank you. So now on the total, just, you'll update
Yep, so the total other expenses is $4,500.
4,500. So that brings us down to 266, 291.
Yes.
Thank you. Right, next is the mayor's office. I need a motion for total personnel services.
We should vote on the
Yes.
total budget for the city.
Yeah, don't we have to vote on the total?
You want me to do the
You
total?
have to vote on total expenses.
Okay. A motion for the total expenses of 4,500. Counselor Drew, seconded by Counselor Santos. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. 266, 291. Do you need me to vote on that total? I think.
To you.
Okay,
We didn't do it last time.
no, okay. The mayor's office is our next item. Need a motion for total personnel services.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Drew,
Second.
seconded by Counselor DiZoglio. Discussion. Seeing none? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, unanimous. Total other expenses, $18,000. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor DiZoglio, seconded by Counselor Santos. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, motion carries, Madam Clerk. 32959, thank you. Legal services, motion to approve total personal services, $500,762. Motion by Counselor Samard.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor McLaren. Discussion. Seeing none? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, motion carries. Total other expenses, $116,000. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor DiZoglio, seconded by Counselor Santos. I'm in discussion. Seeing none? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. 616,762 is my total, correct? Thank you. City Clerk's Office, total personnel services, 385,990, I need my glasses, hold on. 892, thank you, Madam Vice. Thank you, Counselor Samard. Seconded by Counselor Drew. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Madam Clerk. Thank you. Total other expenses, $176,155. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor Drew. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. That total is 562,047. 562,047. There's nothing for the line item reserve fund. Could you update me on the grand total for the legislative and executive branch?
Yes, so it's $1,766,059.
Thank you. Next line item. Chief Administrative and Financial Officer, total personnel services, $196,867. Can I get a motion to approve? Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor McLaren. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Total other expenses, $10,000. Motion to approve. Motion by Counselor Drew, seconded by Counselor Santos. I'm in discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. $206,867 is our total. Thank you. Accounting, total personnel services, $575,257. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor DiZoglio. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Total other expenses, $205,000. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Drew, seconded by Counselor Santos. I'm in discussion. Counselor Drew.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Capo, just for clarification, we were able to briefly discuss earlier, payroll services, if we go to a biweekly payroll, does that change much when it comes to how much that line item will cost us?
Not at where it's budgeted for at this point, no. It would alleviate maybe some stress on the internal workings of the accounting department, but not financially.
So that $50,000 line item is basically to pay an outside vendor
Yes.
for the processing, and that's their total cost to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous. $780,257. Is that correct? Thank you. Assessing office. Total personnel services, $269,292. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by
Second.
Counselor Valley. Discussion. Seeing none? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Total other expenses, $113,580. Motion to approve. Motion by Counselor Marsan, seconded by Counselor Santos. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. That total is $382,872, correct? Thank you. Treasurer Tax Collector's Office, total personnel services, $403,381. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Marsan, seconded by Counselor DiZoglio. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Total other expenses, $162,000. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Marsan, seconded by Counselor Santos. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. That totals $565,381, correct? Thank you. Human Resources, total personnel services, $453,583. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Drew, seconded by Counselor DiZoglio. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Motion carries. Total other expenses, $52,000. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Drew, seconded by Counselor Santos. I'm in discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. That totals $505,583, Madam Cathell. Thank you. Information technology, total personnel services, $564,498. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Drew, seconded by Counselor Santos. I'm in discussion. Counselor Drew.
I'd like to make a motion to cut $1,700.
There's a motion on the floor to cut $1,700 from total personnel services from IT, information technology. Is there a second? Seeing none, motion failed. Back on any further discussion? None? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? I'll take a roll call, just for clarification.
Counselor DiZoglio.
Yes.
Counselor Drew. Counselor McLaren.
Yes.
Counselor Masson.
Yes.
Counselor Pesh.
Yes.
Counselor Santos.
Yes.
Counselor Samad.
Yes.
Counselor Valley.
Yes.
And Chair Soto.
Yes.
8 yes, 1 no.
Total other expenses, $1,228,821. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor DiZoglio. I'm in discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous, Madam Clerk. Total equipment outlay, $60,000. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Drew, seconded by Counselor Santos. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. That total, Madam Cathell, $1,853,319 remains the same. Thank you. And the total administration and finance department, were there any changes to that? I don't think so. $4,294,279. Thank you. That remained the same. Economic and community development, total personnel services, $640,758. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Valley, seconded by
Second.
Counselor McLaren. Discussion. Seeing none? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk, motion carries. Total other expenses, $118,143. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor DiZoglio. I'm in discussion. Seeing none? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. That total, $758,901, Madam Caffo. Thank you, that remained the same. Health, Human Services, and Inspection, total personnel services, $1,530,164. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor DiZoglio. I'm in discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. That does not change. Total other expenses, $40,188. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Santos,
Second.
seconded by Counselor DiZoglio. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. That total, $1,570,352, remain the same, Madam Capo. Thank you. Next item, police. I need a motion to approve total personnel services, $13,577,210. Motion to approve by Counselor Santos, seconded.
Second.
Counselor Drew. Discussion. Seeing none, All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Total other expenses, $857,924. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Drew, seconded by Counselor Santos. In discussion on that line item. Counselor Drew.
Madam Chair, if it's all right, I'd like to ask the chief to come up and just make some clarification on a line item that I had somebody call me on.
Absolutely.
Over the week.
The floor.
I just had a question on the tuition. If you could just give us some more information as to what that line item covers.
Sure. So this line typically covers things like police academy fees. It's roughly $3,200 per year for each recruit. Professional development fees, things like part of our professional development program. As you know, I kind of outlined it last week when I was before you. We send all of our supervisory staff to various levels of the FBI leader program. There's a cost associated with that, of course. There are times that we incur the pre-employment testing, things like medical, physical, and psychological testing. Other times the HR department will cover that, but we'll often chip in there. Annual in-service for CPR and first responder. We have to pay for the in-service that the police officers engage in, that annual training to keep their credentials up. It's 40 hours per week per police officer. In and out-of-state travel to training conferences, leadership development training. We pay a range rental fees, various conferences that I need to attend to keep my own credentials up, and specialized training, the things like that you see in terms of like drone pilot training, motorcycle school, detective school, internal affairs school, all those specialized trainings how we further develop our police officers to take on particular roles. And then, of course, we have to pay for things like procedural justice training, implicit bias training, and duty to intervene. Those are all requirements that have come on board in the last several years in terms of keeping up with police reform and accreditation and what have you. So that more or less covers it. There's some other incident, some other trainings that we have to engage in as well, but that pretty much covers the bulk of it.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, you mentioned a couple of them there. The $3,200 for cadet training. Obviously, we don't have any new cadets coming in with the hiring freeze. New hiring stuff, onboarding. Obviously, we're not doing that. So I think that would be more encumbered in the $42,000 that was already removed. Correct.
Right.
So you think the 87 remaining is enough to cover what's left of what you have to do to ensure your credentials and the proper training of your men and women?
Yeah, sure. As I spoke about before, I think we kind of went through everything with the fine-tooth comb. The mayor and I kind of cutting right down to the bone everywhere we could to kind of save positions and save people. So I think we've done the best we can with that, and I think this is the minimum we need to fund that line.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you.
I'm all set. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion or questions? Okay, seeing none. So I have a motion, second discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Total equipment outlay, $15,000. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor DeZoglio, seconded by Counselor Santos. I'm in discussion. Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Yes.
If I may, Madam Chair, I just wanted to share a brief housekeeping item that you all know about, but I don't know if the public is aware of this, and I'm just catching myself now because this is something that we'll have an update on as we get a little closer to this part of the budget. So on page 42, what we did after the first read last week, there's a new line item under employee benefits. It's personal services and other expenses. So that line item I'm using to capture any reductions that are made so that we can put that towards helping with the furlough situation. And so if you recall during the last meeting, there was $34,200 that had been made in reductions, aside from the $200,000 that the council had voted on to reduce the tipping fee line item. I put that towards the schools. But this is in essence capturing any of those other cuts that were made. So those will go to furloughs. So Earlier tonight, there was a cut of $2,000 made to the city council budget. So what I'll do when we get to that point, instead of $34,200, I'll make a proposal for that to be $36,200, again, to help reduce the amount of furlough hours on the city side. So just wanted to share that before we go any further.
Yeah. Okay, so for clarification, Mr. Mayor, you're talking about Section 910 on our updated list that the CAFO provided. Could you verify that for the counselors? Madam CAFO, I'm talking about this one, as opposed
So
to...
it would be
Which
employee
section?
benefits. Yeah, so under 910, there's a new line, other expenses. And once we get to it, that will be $36,200, accounting for the $2,000 reduction made on the city council line.
Thank you for that live update. All right, so total for police, $14,450,134. Is that correct, Madam CAFO? Remains the same, perfect. I'm going over to fire. Total personnel services, $13,785,957. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor Samard. I'm in discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Total other expenses, $602,650. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor DeZoglio, seconded by Counselor Santos. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. That total for fire is $14,388,607. Thank you, Madam Capo. And then your subtotal on public safety, there was no change, correct? It's $28,838,741. Methuen Schools. Total for Methuen Schools, $114,276,970. Motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Counselor Drew, seconded by Counselor DeZoglio. I'm in discussion. Counselor, I'll let the mayor go and then I'll come back, Counselor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know the acting superintendent is here to answer any questions, but I just wanted to share that on Friday after the voting on Thursday, we added in the 100,000 that we have identified in the additional new growth that hadn't been in the initial calculation. We added in the 200,000 from the tipping fee reduction from last time, and then we also shared that we're going to be coming to the council with an ask for roughly $2 million to cover one-time special ed expenses out of free cash. And so on that basis, and I don't know if Acting Superintendent, if you wanted to come up just to answer any questions about this, but I had a conversation with Mr. Goslin, and he had shared that he is starting to be able to build positions back in to the budget, considering that new information. Among those additions back into the budget, things like the band program, the reading specialists, things like that. I don't know if you want to share any others that have been added back, but accounting for the 100, the 200, and the free cash revenue assumption, he was able to build back in 31 positions. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, thank you very much for your willingness to support us in saving positions using free cash and the other identified funds. So it was exciting to sit down and be able to think about what would we like to remove from the reduction list, moving from that 114 list. If you remember last time I was in front of you, we talked about the 118 versus the 114. So at this point in time, and I've yet to share this with our union presidents as well, but I just want to share that we are looking to remove the middle school or upper school band program from the reduction list. Also to remove the K through 4 STEM program and our reading specialists, mostly because the elimination of those positions would mean the elimination of an entire program. so our students will still maintain those services and experiences. We also have some other singleton positions, such as some of the custodial positions that were mentioned last time that we're largely in favor of as well. Some of our counseling staff that had been previously listed on reductions. So we're looking forward to seeing what the state has in store for us to further reduce the reduction list, but already a sizable change from the last time I was here.
Thank you. So for interpretation, they are remaining. Reduction means they get to stay. The programs remain.
Yes. So I
Great.
presented it as a double negative. So they are.
Thank
with
you
us
very
still.
much. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Counselor, you had your hand up. Do you want me to go to Counselor McLaren?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Councilor DeSaglio. I just wanted to take a moment before we take this vote to recognize how devastating this budget is. I know that it's not necessarily the fault of any individual sitting at this table. The money we have to work with is the money we have to work with, but and I am happy to hear that we've made some marginal improvements in keeping some really important programs. For the band, for one, I participated in that. It was pivotal for me in terms of building the confidence to do something like run for office. But I'm still worried for our students. I'm still worried for our teachers and staff who were already asking to do a lot. And now on top of that, the virtually impossible task of managing a classroom of upwards of 30 kids. I've sat in classrooms that big. It's insane on both sides of the aisle for the student and for the teacher. And so my vote tonight is begrudging. It's not at all enthusiastic. If I could add millions to this budget, I would. If I could grow the money on trees, I would. But I just wanted to really take a moment to appreciate how much we're asking of our faculty and staff who work so hard. They are some of the most kind, smart, and capable people I've ever known, but they're not miracle workers, right? So I just wanted to take a moment to appreciate that, but I am happy to hear that we're bringing some really key programs back for our students. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Counselor. Counselor DeSaglio.
So thank you, Madam Chair. And as Councilor McLaren was saying, from the student's perspective, from being a teacher, where I have a classroom of 28 right now, and most of the grade that I deal with is probably, I deal with 179 students every day. So I can, as I advocated for them on the school committee, I will continue to advocate that every year they seem to be, like every district in the Commonwealth, it's just not Methuen, that every year they have to worry about their jobs. And for someone that understands that, it's frustrating that they go into a classroom to teach knowing that there's a possibility at the end of the year they're going to get cut. How are you supposed to ask someone to do that along with IEPs, 504s, which some of us, like myself, don't get support, and they continuously, we have to wake up every morning and go to work. Don't get me wrong, we choose to do it because we love doing it. But it's hard to go through the year knowing at the end, we're going to be right back here. And it's not just on the city. This is also a state thing. There needs to be major education reform because I believe the education is broken. System is broken. But it's not fair for them to come to this city hall every year and fight for their jobs. We need to work with our delegation and with ourselves to put a concrete place that they can continue to work and be happy that they're working here. That's all I have to say. I'll be voting no on this budget. Thank you.
Counselor Drew.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Over the weekend and right after this budget vote happened, some people called and it was made that why didn't this body say anything? Well, I think this body did everything they could this last meeting, stripping every dollar out of it that we possibly could, that I could find, and I can tell you that I went over this thing with a fine-tooth comb. None of this is okay. This budget is not well. We know that. This body, as much as sometimes we may look dysfunctional, we do work together pretty well. And I think that this finance subcommittee that I know we're on has been working, trying to find things and work with the mayor to find revenues so that we're not sitting back here next year. I, for one, want to thank everybody who does come up and speak, because a year ago, I was there. And if there's anybody who can tell you, I care about the schools, it's right here. I care very much about it. And I will do everything I can to protect it. But at the end of the day, we do have the budget we have, and it's gross. And I hope next year, Mr. Mayor, we can figure out how to fix this. Because we can't just wait till next year, and I hope that we are going to take the time, work with the school committee, work with the schools now. As soon as this is done, I really hope we start figuring out how to fix it. I commend the two young women who come up to those podiums. I can tell you, sitting here as a counselor, it gets nerve-wracking talking to everybody here in front of this whole body. I couldn't imagine being a second grader, third grader, standing at that microphone. That is nerve-wracking, and I commend those young ladies for doing it. So I want to thank this body for doing everything they can, cutting every dollar we can out of this that looks like fluff, and I promise you there is no fluff that I can find. And I want to say thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilor. Any further discussion or comments? No? Okay, so I'm on the total Methuen schools for $114,276,970. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
No.
I need you to do it. Sorry, Madam Clerk.
That's
Roll
okay.
call.
Counselor DiZoglio.
No.
Counselor Drew.
No.
Counselor McLaren.
Yes.
Counselor Marsan.
Yes.
Counselor Pesh.
Yes.
Counselor Santos.
Yes.
Counselor Samad.
Yes.
Counselor Valley.
Yes.
And Chair Soto.
Yes.
7 yes, 2 no.
Thank you, councilors. Next, Greater Lawrence Technical School, $6,419,035. I am going to motion in a second. We'll go to discussion, and Mr. Lavoy is here this evening, and we'll call him to the podium, if that's okay. So if someone can motion, please.
Second.
Motion by Councilor Drew, seconded by Councilor Santos. Discussion. Mr. Lavoy, the podium's yours.
Thank you, Madam President. Well, first of all, let me begin by apologizing for not being here on the workshop evening, as I did not know that it was being held. There was a notice, apparently I found out today, when our Director of Finance came back from a 2-week leave, that she had gotten an email, which I never received. So that's why I hadn't attended. The following day, on Thursday, I said to my assistant, have we heard from Methuen yet? Seems like we should be hearing from them soon to appear to present our budget. So she called and she spoke to somebody at City Hall, and they said that Thursday night, that I should come Thursday night because we were on the agenda Thursday night, but apparently we were not, and that's why I didn't appear. So I apologize for not being here. I understand your frustration. I would be frustrated myself, but I would love to be able to present to you our budget this evening if you're willing to have me present it. I also have budget booklets for everybody.
Thank you. Councilor Marsan, if you could graciously help us. Mr. LaBoy, how can we make it easier for your office to get our information? I know that last year and the year before, you did come in front of us, one of the 2 years, but one of the other years, there was also some miscommunication. What's the best way for us to do that, to make sure that you guys are here for the workshops?
Yeah, so it's always best to contact my office.
Okay.
My assistant would inform me. Her name is Sue Lally. If you emailed her, and then also see me. And we should be able to get that communication when it goes to the Director of Finance. We don't have access to her email, and she was just, unfortunately, was out for those 2 weeks when you notified the school. We would, once we get that information, we would get back to you immediately. And also, I did speak to the Director of Finance today. That's when I said, did you get an email while you were out? So she looked on her email today and saw that she did. And I asked her if she had sent in the booklets prior, because typically you should be getting the booklets way back in March, early April. And she said she contacted the town and did not get a response saying that they wanted the booklet, so she didn't forward it to you. I can assure you in the future that as soon as they're available, you will receive the booklet so you can go through it.
Thank you. Is Ms. Sue Ellen a new Director of Finance? Is she new in the office or no?
This is her second year.
Her second year, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see how we could communicate that. Thank you so much. I'm in discussion, so I know there are some questions from the body. Councilor Samard.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Lloyd, thank you for being here, and thank you for your many years of dedicated service. I think the better question we should have asked Mr. Lavoy, who has 22 administrators, him and his assistant make $550,000. I think the better question would be, what can they do to make our jobs easier since we're just a rubber stamp? When you say that I'm in this room of the Methuen Public Schools who are struggling to have a band, to have reading specialists, to have program assistants, and we can't even get a budget until the night of the second read. I don't know if it's forgetfulness or if you just don't care, but either, I don't know which one's worse. I mean, we're governed to say yes to this budget by state, but I'm hoping that Lauren, because I missed the last meeting because I was at my daughter's graduation. I know it failed 4-4. It would have failed 5-4 if I was there. So I know you often have these VIP 30-minute tours and everyone says what a great job you're doing. But to be honest with you, I've been going there for 23 years as my wife works there. My son's a student there. The staff does a great job. The teachers, the guidance counselors, the security guards, the custodians, the assistants, they do a great job. No doubt you've done a great job, but $363,000 a year, the only one that makes more money is the superintendent of Boston, and you probably know more than I do how many schools there are. Dr. Riccio was here last week from Salisbury in charge of Essex Aggie with a very informative booklet for us to prepare accordingly. And here we are, we get this the night of the second read. I don't get it. I don't. It's frustrating. It seems like it's the same old story. I'm going to be a no vote, and I'm hoping that, I think Lawrence is next, and I'm hoping they're a no vote. There's something wrong here. We have to, petition our state delegation to say, why is this? Why are we paying more for less? I'll have a question for you. I know we're going to a lottery and we're allotted 25%. Is that correct, Methuen?
Yes.
And Andover and North Andover are 5%, correct?
Yes.
And if they don't use that allocation, where does those numbers go? To Methuen or to Lawrence?
To Lawrence.
There you go again. So again, we pay the price, we pay more, and again, we just have to rubber stamp that. So I think the question should have been, how can you make our job easier? How can you make the burden less on the Methuen Public Schools when you're one school with 22 administrators? So again, I'm a no vote. I don't know what the answer is, but I know it's at the state level. And I give Council for retro credit last year for fighting the fight. And I can share in his frustration. I would have joined them last year if I was on. And I'm just going to run with it this year. But something has to be done. Thank you.
Councilor Drew.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Lavoy, I'm a 2006 graduate of Greater Lawrence Technical School. I graduated from the plumbing department. I have continued plumbing. I am a product of your school, and I think it's a great school. Now, that being said, I have to look at my city and say to them, hey, we're going to go spend $6.4 million to this school. You are going to raise our contribution of almost $500,000 into this coming year. You're putting on 24 new positions while I'm looking at my school system cutting 44. So your high school, my alma mater, has 1,900 students?
Yeah, we have just over 1,900 students.
And the 1,900 students, half of them are in school, half of them are in shop.
Correct. 1 week they're in academics, 1 week they're in shop.
So you're educating at a time about 900 students in
Well,
academics.
we're educating all 1,900 every day.
Correct. I don't mean to say that the kids in shop aren't getting an education. I can attest to that. What I mean by that is you're putting them through math, science, English, all of that. You're putting about 900 students a day through that.
Yes.
Okay, so Methuen High School, we have 19 math teachers. At Greater Lawrence Technical School, you will have, with your increase of an added teacher into your math department, you will have 16 math teachers. So at Methuen High School, they teach 1,800 kids a day with 19 math teachers. You're teaching 900 students with 16 math teachers. Your MCAS scores aren't exorbitantly better on anything. I just don't understand how I can, in good faith, look at my city, say, I'm being fiduciary responsible and approve this budget. And I understand, like, you only need 3 of the 4 towns. But to just say to them, we're going to pay 10% of your operating budget and see an increase of your pupils, of your staff, with my city facing what it's facing. It just feels like your administration didn't take a look at what the actual world was going on. Like, we're taking huge cuts right now. We are furloughing more people than we know what to do in this city. We are cutting teachers left and right. We are cutting programs, but you're adding 25 positions. I just feel like it's a little tone deaf. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, your assessments are determined by the state, not by JLTS. So the state drives how much you pay Greater Lawrence Technical School, not Greater Lawrence Technical School. And they determine that by the state formula, which takes into consideration the same percentage that you pay for your students in terms of percentage is the same percentage that you pay to Greater Lawrence Technical School, which is based on your citizen salaries and the value of your property in the community. That's how the formula works.
Oh, I've read through that cockamamie formula.
Yeah, so I could have 10 math teachers or 100 math teachers, you're still going to pay the same amount of money.
Right, but if you weren't raising your number of people coming in, you're raising your budget by $1.3 million. You're increasing your staff. If you weren't increasing staff this year, and you said, hey, I'm not going to raise $1.2 million, we wouldn't be coming out of our pocket an extra $500,000. We would have paid exactly what we paid last year. I'm not saying that the funding process is wrong. What I'm saying is you're adding costs to your department, to your school, for us to be footing the bill without you actually looking what the impact is to my community.
Well, that's not true because, first of all, the reason our increases went up, both state formula and as well as yourself, is because the enrollment goes up. What we get from the state, what we get from you is driven by the number of students we have. When you send, we have more students from Methuen than the year before, your assessment's going to go up. So we have, over the last 12 years, increased our student enrollment by almost 700 students. We have grown faster than any other technical school in the state of Massachusetts. So our assessments have gone up, and also our increases from the state have gone up. So it's a formula that's based on the number of students that we have. And in terms of 900 teachers, teaching academic programs, we have every teacher teaches 6 periods a day, and 1 week they have one group of students, 900, and the next week they get another 900. So typically they actually have more students than a typical high school does, because if you have 150 math, if a teacher has 150 math teachers students in Methuen, every week they have 150 math students. Same with us. If our math teacher has 150 students, that's 1 week. The next week they get a different 150 students, so they have a total of 300 students to assess, to evaluate their homework, prepped differently. So the burden, they have, it's different responsibility, but they're still teaching the same amount of periods as your teachers are teaching. It's just that they may be teaching less periods, so our students may not get as many hours in mathematics that your students get, except for in our freshman and in our 10th grade programs in academics, the students get 2 periods a day instead of 1 period a day of math and science, because to ensure that they can meet the same hours as a typical student in a comprehensive high school, so that they're prepared for the state assessment for the MCAS every year. So we make sure that, now we did put on another, we actually put on another math teacher, 2 math teachers, because we have struggled year after year with our math scores in the MCAS. And the students coming to us every year, their math scores are lower and lower. And so we have bigger challenges in order to get them to grade level. 70% of the students that come to us are doing below grade level in math, and over 80% are below grade level in ELA. So we instituted a new math program for next year to support those students who are coming in with such low grade levels. So yeah, and we're also, next year, we have 60 more special ed students coming in than we have this year, more EL students coming in next year than we had this year, because of the lottery has made a shift in the demographics of students coming in to GLTS. We are working to get 2,200 students at GLTS. We continue to have a strategic plan to bring in more students by bringing in more programs. A year from September, we're starting a public safety program. We're increasing our medical health programs by 200 students over the next 3 years. We're putting an addition on the building to support that. We're also having a new program with Northern Essex where we will be leasing 4 lab spaces there, so our students will get college credits for their vocational and academic classes, so that they can get an associate's degree when they graduate from Greater Lawrence Technical School. So yeah, we're continuing to grow, but our investment is in helping students have great opportunities. And it's not only day school. We have over 450 evening program unemployed or underemployed adults that come to our school, which we place all of them. Next September, we're running 12 programs in the evening. So what's the purpose of that? It's not only to help students, but it's to help our community and industry. Industry is dying for support and help in the areas that we're training people for. So, and particularly in a community like Lawrence and Methuen, where there's a dire need to uptrain people so that they have a better livable wage. We're all about trying to help our community and do everything we can to make for a stronger, better, safer community. You know, it's not about, you may not like my salary, which is fine, but nobody here has a clue of what my value is or what I do to earn that salary.
Mr. LaVoy, I have no problem with your salary. You want to earn your salary. My problem is that I'm increasing my funding from my community. And I don't know if you want to turn around and see all the teachers and people that are standing here, people that are looking at their jobs ready for pink slips. There are people in this room that are going to be furloughed next week.
Yeah, and
your priority here, it says in priority number 2, reduce student to teacher ratio through hiring an additional math teachers. So you're reducing your student to teacher ratio while we're growing our student to teacher ratio.
Yeah.
So you're adding positions, and I understand you have a long-term plan of this school, and I'm an alumni, so I get it. I love this school. It's a great school. I graduated from it. I want to see kids get a technical education. I think it is a great opportunity for people. I just have a tough time when you sit here and you tell me that the math doesn't work because they're doing 150 teachers a week. Well, yeah, so is the Methuen High School math teacher. You may have 300 different kids, but it's still 150 kids a week. I just don't understand, and maybe it's just my math skills from going to Greater Lawrence Tech, how that makes any sense.
Well, you must be pretty smart
your school costs $31,000 per pupil. Essex Tech. They came here, they have the same number of students. They cost $23,000 per student. How do you justify an $8,000 a year increase to your student? They have the same exact programs. They have horses. They have all sorts of fun stuff. So how do you have $8,000 more per student across your system? It seems crazy to me.
Yeah, because the formula has per student costs are based on different criteria. So so you have your base assessment, which all schools get. Methuen says this is how much. In the state says this is how much money for comprehensive education that you need to receive. But then when you look at a school like ours, you add on the vocational cost, which brings in another $6,000. Then you add on low income, that brings in another $2,500. Special ed brings in a substantial amount of money. EL student brings in more money. So all of these other criteria, because we have to hire support staff for all these different criteria, increases our per student costs. I am saddened, I would say, of the difficulties. It's not just Methuen. I live in Andover. They struggle also trying to maintain a good budget for their schools. I know all the communities are struggling with that. We're fortunate, but that I can't change what you receive from the state for your funds, nor can I change what we receive from the state. The state sets our budget.
What you can do is not expand programming in a year when everybody's budget is tight. It seems like this may be the year, all right, maybe we don't expand everything this year. Then you wouldn't be coming looking for more money from us. Then we might have an ability to work on things. But Andover does $25,000 per student. Methuen has to pay $13,800 per student. Lawrence is paying, what, $3,000 per student, $4,000 per student? And I understand how their formula works, and it's a very convoluted formula that makes absolutely no sense to me. But I don't understand how you can sit here and tell us I have to expand my programming, and it's not my fault that your city has to fund us more money. You were expanding the programming. If you weren't expanding it and we were just doing contractual raises and staying status quo, just like everybody else is trying to right now, but instead your school is trying to grow. And I'm sorry, it looks bad to this community, I would say to Andover, North Andover, and I'm sure to Lawrence. I haven't even looked at what their budget is, but I'll be sure to make sure I call my fellow counselors in that city and have a conversation about it. So I'm all set.
So one of the things that you have to understand also, we get a substantial amount of grant money. This year alone, we got close to $2 million from the Massachusetts Clean Energy Center. It goes to specific projects in our technical areas, but it also supports some of the needs in those programs so we don't have to use operational money to buy sometimes materials. If we do a major project that Clean Energy is paying for, we don't have to buy as much material to train our kids in plumbing, carpentry, electrical. So we got almost $2 million last 2 years. We're one of the leading schools in the Commonwealth in terms of leadership in the Clean Energy Center. We also right now are meeting with Fidelity Corporation for a $2 million grant that they have given us. We've gotten grants from several foundations over the years, and that helps offset our needs within our day-to-day operational budget, but it doesn't change, that the state's going to give us less. That's not even considered, those funds are not even considered in what we get, but it does help us to maintain a strong budget year after year because it helps to offset some of our operational costs because of those funds that come in year after year. So, it also allows us to put additions on, expand the student, expand programming and bring in more students. And we turn down 1,000 students a year, even at that. This year, we had almost 1,500 students apply. We turned down 1,000 students. And
how many students from Methuen applied?
How many came?
How many applied? I can tell you how many got in. You have it here in your budget book. It was like 491.
Yeah, I don't have the numbers of how many from. I can get that for you. I didn't bring that with me tonight. How many actually applied?
We only get I believe Councilor Samard said we get 25% of the population.
Yeah, which is
But we
been
pay 10% of
consistent.
the operating budget.
Yeah.
It's,
When the numbers were decided by the school committee, they looked at a few things. They looked at what typically are the percentages from different communities each year over the last 4 or 5 years, and Methuen has hovered around 25%. So that's, Andover has hovered around 3%, North Andover 3%, and then Lawrence has been close to over 80%. And so they tried to, and then you look at all the students that are in the 8th grade and what percentage of those students are from Methuen versus Lawrence, Andover, North Andover, and that's basically how they came out with the percentage of students to take in. So
when they took into consideration putting this budget together, did they happen to think of looking into the communities that they're asking for contributions from and what we would be facing? Or did they just put together and say, oh, this will be nice. This will be nice. I think this will go well for us.
Well, it's the state formula that drives that, so that's an argument to have or discussion to have with the state legislators, which I know that you've had that before. Yeah.
Mr. Lavoy, I'm gonna start timing. 10 minutes? You're gonna go 10 minutes?
I think Councilor Drew said a lot of what I'm about to say.
Okay, thank you. Councilor DeSaglia.
Councilor Drew said he didn't have a problem. I do have a problem with how much you're getting paid for monitoring one building when our superintendent monitors about 6 buildings. So but again, your budget, the way they want to pay you, that's good. And I wish I could have your salary. But the bigger problem I have with this overall, you said you're adding another math teacher because the scores are low. You want to know why? Because we keep draining our money and we have to keep cutting our teachers. So you are getting that of the repercussions of us cutting, and now you have to add on. But if you laid off, maybe we could have saved a teacher here, but you want to keep adding to your budget and your people, which is fine. Also, another thing, you have 22 administrators. And I don't know if that involves finance, like your secretaries, your director of finance. Is that all included in those 22 administrators, correct? Okay. We have, in our department, we have one person doing 3 jobs because we can't afford more staffing in our administration department. Okay? Because we want our kids to have opportunities at your school. Trust me, I teach in Lawrence. All my kids think about, including my 8th graders, I want them to go to your school, all right? Because you will give them so much opportunity. But the fact that you're coming here and saying, well, that's just a formula, that's just how the state looks at it. Well, to me, that looks at it as a cop-out. I feel like you're not showing the compassion that these teachers behind you are fighting every day while you're adding, and we have to pay you because we want our kids to have an opportunity with you. That to me is kind of, just feels like, do you see why we have a problem?
No, I can absolutely understand your frustration, and I don't say this, and I don't speak to you in a way that I'm flip about it or don't respect you for your needs, or understand that it's really challenging to understand, why do we get all that we need and you guys have to struggle, or you're impacted. It seems like you're impacted because of what we get. But the truth of the matter is you really aren't impacted by what we get. It's totally separate. I mean, we don't, it's the state Department of Education that determines how much we're going to get. And they don't consider, well, if we give this much to Greater Lawrence, then we're going to give less to Methuen. The formula is the same for every school in the Commonwealth, whether it be a vocational school or Methuen or any other school. We couldn't help you if we wanted to help you. I mean, if we said, oh, well, we're going to cut our budget and give you $2,000, the state would not allow that. We would get fined for doing that. We have to meet net school spending. We have to spend the money they give us by law. If we don't, we would get fined. So it's not like, we have a choice to say, well, we think we can do less. We could do a lower per pupil cost. that's not going to, that doesn't matter. They're not going to listen to us. They set the law. The law drives what we get, and we have to live with that.
So one more. Also, you said a statement that you guys pay for special ed. Actually, every district gives you some of our money. We pay you all of it for our student that has special ed. So we cover your special ed costs.
No, that's not true. We don't get any extra money from Methuen if we have a special ed student. You may have, your assessment might get impacted for every special ed student we have, but that's the part of the assessment that state determines. So we're going to have next year, when the state set our finance for next year, they didn't know how many special ed students we were going to have next year because we didn't even have our enrollment yet. Yet we took in we have 60 more special ed students coming in than we had last year because it's based on the October 1st report. We'll benefit next October 1st for the following year, but it's not going to help us next school year. It has no impact on but it's not, that's determined on our October 1st report, but it's not. They're not taking money from Methuen because we have an extra 60 students. It's the same formula. We just got to figure out, even though we hire more special ed students, we got to use whatever funds we've received for next school year.
Right. The October 1st report, yes, you're right. But then when it comes to it, you guys will be receiving that money for the special ed cost that following year when Methuen is basically giving, because he is a Methuen or she is a Methuen resident. So it's going to your school. That's how it works. You're right. There is that October 1st report, but that next year covers, so it's not coming out of your budget. It's coming through the state that says you have a new student that following year, and basically it goes from Methuen into your fund to cover your costs.
Yeah, a year later, and we may get 3, I'm not sure how many special ed students we accepted from Methuen this year. Might have been 3, might have been 4. So next October 1st, that assessment will show that we'll get an additional funds, but it'll be at whatever percentage of the rate is from Methuen towards that special ed. So if it's an extra $1,000, we're going to receive of that assessment $500
It's
from
more than
Methuen.
that, but I get it. But the thing to close out, because and I feel like we're a little hostility, maybe a little bit, because the fact that you chose coming on the second read, and I get it. People mess up, people do that, but I just feel like I'm going to be a no vote because I feel like this is getting to the point where we're getting the short end of the stick. We feel like we're getting short end of the stick in Methuen. And second of all, you're right. Maybe we have to go to the state delegation to do that. But now we're saying we are going to go to the state delegation to fix this problem, because this has been years that it seems like other cities are getting more for their buck and we keep getting the short end. And luckily we have a different council this time around that we're going to change things. And so that's where we're at.
Yeah, and I would say I hope you're successful. I absolutely do. I hope you're successful so as to help you support the students that you have. They're part of my own community, Merrimack Valley. They're part of our community. The one thing I will say that it's a benefit to Methuen that doesn't cost you any money is our workforce development programs. Any unemployed or underemployed citizen that takes our programs, there's no assessment to the town, to the city for that, yet we still educate. I'm not sure how many are coming from Methuen, but I could even get you that number, how many we educate at no cost.
And also, I'm one of the biggest advocates for the After Dark program for the Methuen students. But also, it's great that the after school evening programs are great. But right now I care about my kids. I don't care about the evening programs. Those people they got their education, now they're going through that workforce. I am so happy for them. But right now, like you said, you have kids coming in that are below grade level in math. That's because we can't fund our schools. We can't give our teachers the resources. We can't also have kids barely with 30 kids in a class. Come see my classroom, 28 kids I see, and I can only do so much in a day.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm glad that you're putting in the resources for those kids because they can't.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah. I would say our class sizes are about anywhere, we try to not go over 25 to 1, but we do have classes that are 30 to 1 ratio in our advanced classes.
Counselor McLaren.
My overtime.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple very quick things. First, the solicitor very kindly pointed out to me where it says in your own budget book that March 25th, budget books will be sent to Andover, Lawrence, Methuen, North Andover. So I'm not quite sure why you had to reach out to us to ask if we were interested in receiving them. I think it's pretty clear that we would want your budget book to vote on your budget, right? Not just that, but you made a statement just a couple of minutes ago that I want to go back to, that this money is, quote, completely separate, I believe is the word that you used. So I just wanted to clarify, are you somehow suggesting that the extra money that we're supposed to allocate to you this year as compared to the last fiscal year, that that's somehow separate from the pool of money that we should be using to fund our own public schools? Because the way I see it, the money we're giving to you, because of your budget increases, very well could have gone to funding our struggling public schools. And so I don't appreciate the language of separate. I just wanted to give you the opportunity to clarify what you meant by that. Thank you.
Yeah, so, well, first of all, I agree with you. You should have had the books on the 25th. My assumption is the Director of Finance submitted those books to you, because I remember asking her, did you contact Methuen way back in the beginning of March to make sure that it had our books so that you could build your own budget and understand what your assessments were going to be. So I can only apologize for that, but I can assure you that'll never happen again. In terms of, I'm not understanding what your question is in terms of money, but I can say that the October 1st report determines what the budget will be for not the year that of October 1st year, but the next following year. So this budget we're in now was based on the number of students that were from Methuen on October 1st of 2025. That's how this book was built by. Now, next year in 2026, those numbers will be different. It'll probably be a little bit more because I believe actually we took in more students from Methuen this year than we did last year, I believe. So the number will go up a little bit more as well. But it's not that we're taking any money from Methuen. We don't determine how much money you get or where that money goes, or the state does. We have no say in that at all.
Counselor Marsan.
Thank you. So we sit here every year and we complain about the state formula. We talk to our state senators and our state legislators, and we get nothing done, it seems like. And maybe it's our fault, my fault, that we don't follow up and put more into it. But we need to fix the formula is the problem, because we hear this same rhetoric every year. We hear the same thing, that the formula, we pay more per student because of their formula. We're doing everything we can through the mayor, what we're doing, making cuts to make sure that our kids get everything they can. You know, potentially taking free cash and giving it to them. We're doing all we can on our side to help our teachers. I just don't see how we penalize the vocational school. I know you don't like the increases. I don't like an increase, but we can't penalize the 487 kids that go there too because we don't like the formula. That's all I said. That's it.
Thank you, Counselor Marsan. Just to reiterate maybe what Counselor McLaren was alluding to, maybe I misunderstood, but on our budget, it says 6 million, let me get my glasses again, sorry, 6,419,035. But then on your page 27, it states preliminary FY 2027, 5,617,853. But then that's a difference from that 6 million, right? Yes. I see further down, because when we did the math, it stated $801,182. Is that what you were just explaining from the October date to?
No, that's different. So the formula includes foundation budget and non-foundation budget. Foundation budget is Chapter 70 funds that go specifically to teaching and learning education. The other money is for busing. We have a bond, which you might have approved for
Correct.
OPEB.
Okay, so that difference is what the Chapter 70 isn't allotting.
That's the difference between those two numbers.
So cutting that difference would leave our kids without busing and the bond without getting paid and so forth? The 801,000? Or are you saying?
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor?
Just to clarify, on page 30 of the GLTS budget book, I'm just seeing this for the first time tonight, but just to point this out, you'll see that we have roughly 26% of the enrollment. Methuen pays 57% of the foundation assessment that you'll see there, and the total amount that is in the budget that we're voting on tonight, you'll see FY27 total local contribution. It's the $6.4 million number.
Oh, okay, so it is the total. Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. No further clarification on that. So I just want to say, I have met more millionaires come out of GLTS than I have from a four-year institution in the last decade. I think your school produces in the trades some of the most brilliant business owners here in the Merrimack Valley. That's the God honest truth. I deal with the trades a lot. And so I have to commend the school for that. But I also, in comparison, because my colleagues were going back and forth, Essex North Shore, based on the numbers that we're giving here, their per student cost was $29,000. That's what my math comes out to. But your math comes up to $13,000. Is that wrong? Am I missing a number? Is it higher?
No, it's 29,000.
29, so I have
Yep.
it backwards. Okay. Thank you for that. Any further conversation from counselors that haven't spoken yet? Okay, if that's not that, I'm going to go to a vote because we've had 20 minutes here, and so I am going to take a roll call on this, Mr. LeBoy, if that's okay with you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Counselor.
Can I just ask a clarifying question?
Okay, yes, sir.
Making any cut to this doesn't matter. A yes vote passes it, a no vote doesn't pass it.
Correct.
So even if we cut $2 out of it, it's still a no.
I would defer to Mr. Lavoy, but there are minimum required contributions and there are non-minimum required contributions, right, in this budget? There's the state formula contribution, and then there's the additional non-foundation assessment, which is not part of the formula.
It's not part of foundation. It's not part of the formula.
So I don't think that's accurate, but I can't tell you what the effect would be of reducing that 800,000.
So if I cut
The chair asked that
801,000
question.
out of it, does it just reject his budget?
It would effectively reject the budget because it would not be the amount that he
Here's a
requested.
question that I have, a legal follow-up to that. So if hypothetically, the city of Methuen were to make a reduction in this line item from $6,419,035 to the required minimum contribution for the city of Methuen, which is $5,617,853. My question to the solicitor for an opinion, if that cut were to be made, could I, in my capacity as mayor, add that difference to the Methuen Public Schools budget?
I don't think I can give you an answer to that right now. I think that some of those expenses, like debt service, we have to cover, like there's certain legal requirements. I would not be able to answer that question fully for you tonight. I could revisit it. Had we had him here for the budget workshops, I would have been able to research that, but I can't in good conscience answer that. I think some of those things could move out, but I don't know the answer. Some of them are definitely like debt service you can't cut.
Can the CAFO answer because we did a vote for a bond. I think it was in FY 2025 or 26. I don't recall right now. What happens with that?
So, I'm not sure if I'm going to answer your question right, but we're required, because we voted to approve them taking that debt, we're required to then help pay that debt.
Okay.
So, and I believe the other portion of that is for transportation, but I would defer to the superintendent. So I think
Correct.
that would
So-
have an operational effect on whether kids get to school.
Correct. So that was the question of, will our kids be left without transportation just with a paid tuition? So you need to figure out how to get there, basically. Okay. I'll take a roll call, Madam Clerk.
Counselor DiZoglio.
No.
Counselor Drew.
No.
Counselor McLaren.
No.
Counselor Marsan.
Yes.
Counselor Pesh.
No.
Counselor Santos.
No.
Counselor Samad.
No.
Counselor Valley.
No.
And Chair Soto.
Yes.
7 no, 2 yes.
Motion failed. Thank you, Mr. Lavoy, for being present this evening.
The only thing I'll say is that your vote no is not hurting me, it's hurting your students. So that's all I can say with that.
Thank you. Essex North Shore Agricultural and Technical School, next line item, $288,263.
Motion to accept.
Motion to approve by Counselor Drew, second by
Second.
Counselor Santos. Discussion. Seeing none? All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Madam Chair. So that subtotal changes from 120 million because of that failed vote. Question to you, Madam Caffo. What do the fines look like?
That I don't know. I would have to.
Because I believe he stated we were going to get fines. I'd like some research on that.
We'll look into that.
Yeah.
Thank you. So that's 114, well, I don't know that number. Would you update that number just so I could read it on the record? The subtotal for total education?
So I don't think I can remove the Greater Lawrence total at this time.
So even though they voted it down, it remains?
Correct. So last year, same situation arose. We voted it down, but then the state required us to pay it because 3 out of 4 of the communities approved it.
We just spent an hour on this conversation, and it was basically for the same, okay.
So there is an effect if 2 or more communities reject the budget. I don't know where they are in that process. So there is a mechanism in their charter that it has to be approved by the member communities, and I don't know where they are in that process with the member communities, so.
Okay, so I'll read that total, Madam Caffo. Thank you for that clarification. $120,984,268. Public Works, total personnel services, $5,419,649. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor Marsan. Discussion. Seeing none? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Total other expenses, $1,259,170. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor Marsan. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Total fuel expenses, $934,010. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor Drew. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Total snow and ice, $200,000. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Drew, seconded by Counselor Santos. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Total public works is $7,812,829. Moving on to solid waste disposal. $6,030,000. Motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor Valley. Valley did the second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Madam Clerk, one no. Well, let's do a roll call, please.
Counselor DiZoglio.
No.
Counselor Drew.
Yes.
Counselor McLaren.
Yes.
Counselor Marsan.
Yes.
Counselor Pesh.
Yes.
Counselor Santos.
Yes.
Counselor Samad.
Yes.
Counselor Valley.
Yes.
And Chair Soto.
Yes.
8 yes, 1 no.
Thank you. Total remains at $6,030,000. Subtotal is $13,842,829. Moving on. Elder Services. Total Personnel Services. Motion to approve $370,866.
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor DiZoglio. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Total other expenses, $79,050. Motion to approve
So moved.
by Counselor Drew, seconded by
Second.
Counselor Santos. Discussion. Seeing none? Do you have a discussion, Counselor Santos?
No.
No? Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Total is $449,916. Veteran benefits. Total personnel services, $134,724. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor DiZoglio. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Total other expenses, $306,000. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor McLaren. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. That total is $440,724 for veteran benefits. Total human services, subtotal is $890,640. That remained the same, correct? Yes. Nevins Memorial Library. Nevins Memorial Library expenses, motion to approve $1,929,340.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
by Counselor Drew, seconded by Counselor DiZoglio. I'm in discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Total remains the same for culture and recreation, $1,929,340. Bonds and interest, principal, $4,680,000. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor DiZoglio. I'm in discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Interest, $2,151,868. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor DiZoglio. I'm in discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. $6,831,868 is our total debt service. Employee benefits, group health insurance, $19,450,901. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor DiZoglio. I'm in discussion.
Did we skip risk management?
Did I?
940?
I did. I skipped a section. So I'm going to backtrack with those motions, take them back on section 910, employee benefits. That was Counselor Santos and Counselor DiZoglio. Thank you. I'm going back to risk management. I can slow down too, counselors, if you feel I'm going too fast. Please let me know.
Yeah.
Thank you. Risk management, insurance premiums and property, Madam Clerk. Thank you for saving that. $1,165,957. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor DiZoglio. I'm in discussion. Seeing none. Oh, Counselor Drew.
I just have one question. I didn't have a chance to ask this of the mayor. What are we cutting the 200,000 insurance premiums on?
Councilor Drew, this is for the Searles Estate property casualty insurance. We're going to maintain liability coverage, but this is a tweak to the coverage for the estate in fiscal year 27.
Councilor DeZoglio.
So what does that entail, Mr. Mayor? When you're cutting the $200,000 with the liability, like what does that entail and you're dropping back to?
So in essence, let's say we were to hold a tour and unfortunately there were like a fall incident, something like that. We're covered through our liability insurance, but when it comes to just holding on to a $200,000 annual property casualty insurance liability, that's something that, especially at a year like this, doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
All set? Any further questions or discussion? Mr. Mayor, so that doesn't cover the artifacts that are in there? That just liability?
This is property casualty.
Okay. Thank you. So I have any further discussion? Seeing none? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
I'll take a roll call.
Counselor DeZoglio.
No.
Counselor Drew.
No.
Counselor McLaren.
Yes.
Counselor Marsan.
Yes.
Counselor Pesh.
Yes.
Counselor Santos.
No.
Counselor Samad.
Yes.
Counselor Valley.
Yes.
And Chair Soto.
No.
5 yes, 4 no.
Motion carries. Transfer to unemployment, $1,000. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor DeZoglio, seconded by Counselor Santos. I'm in discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Transfer to unemployment, motion to approve.
So moved.
Counselor Santos made a motion to approve. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Counselor DeZoglio. I'm in discussion. Did I make a mistake? No? Okay.
No.
Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Transfer to workers' compensation, that's a $1,000 line item.
So moved.
Thank you, Counselor DeZoglio, seconded by Counselor Santos. I'm in discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk, on that. Now back to 910, employee benefits. Group health insurance, $19,450,901. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor DeZoglio, seconded by Counselor Santos. I'm in discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Did you say yes, right? You said yes. Okay.
I said
Okay. Group health insurance, $80,000. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Santos.
Second.
Wait, that's a
Point of
mistake.
clarification, that's life insurance.
Life insurance.
Life.
Life insurance, okay. I'm gonna give the CAF the floor a bit. Hold that.
That's just what I was.
Okay, thank you. Life insurance for $80,000. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Counselor Marsan, seconded by Counselor Santos. I'm in discussion for that. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Medicare tax, $1,700,000. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor DeZoglio. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Transfer to comp absences fund, $1,000. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor DeZoglio, seconded by Counselor Santos. I'm in discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. The next line item has the extra $2,000 the mayor mentioned earlier. It's $36,200. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor DeZoglio. I'm in discussion. Counselor Santos.
Madam Chair, to the mayor. So what exactly is going to be covered under the 34,200?
So now at this point, Counselor, it's $36,200, factoring in the $2,000 reduction to the city council budget. So this is the mechanism that we're using as part of the second read of, this is the mechanism that we're using as part of the second read of the budget so that we don't have to keep coming back to keep building in any reductions that are made in other areas. So this is going to be the spot that we're going to use in the budget to help reduce the amount of furlough hours that city employees are having to grapple with. So we're, in essence, we're taking the savings from cuts and putting those to help offset furloughs.
Thank you.
Counselor Drew.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Don't know if this is Mr. Mayor, Madam Capo, Solicitor. So with this line item, for you to go through and offset furloughs and upper line items, you're going to have to go back and put money into those line items that we just approved coming down?
So we'll have to bring to council a transfer like we would any other transfer that moves it from here and spreads it out across all of those lines.
Okay, so we're going to see a bunch of transfers come to us to move $36,000 to each different line item for personnel service.
It'll spread out. Yeah, that'll be in 27.
Okay, thank you.
We would have done it to the lines, but again, like the mayor had said, he wanted to capture anything that changed tonight, so we wanted it to be transparent, so we left it on that line with the intention to bring it forward at another time.
It's totally fine. I was just asking procedurally how that would have worked. That's all. Thank you very much.
Yep, you'll get to vote on it again.
Any further questions or discussion on that line item? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. That total remains at $21,266,101.
Point of, there's an extra
Sorry,
2,000.
268, right? $21,268,101. You guys keep me honest. Thank you. That changed. Pension Fund, $17,261,838. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor Samard. I'm in discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. That line items remain the same, $17,261,838. Total employee benefits, Madam Caffel, that increased by the 2,000, correct? So $38,529,939.
Correct.
Thank you. Just for our notes. All right. State assessments. State assessments at $4,531,134. I need a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor McLaren. I'm in discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk, that passes. Total amounts to be raised. There's an overlay for $500,000. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor DeZoglio. I'm in discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Madam Clerk. Offsets, $7,752. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Samard, seconded by Counselor Santos. I'm in discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. That remains at $507,752. Thank you, Madam Caffel. Okay, so grand total for the general fund, do you happen to have that number?
So it's the same number because the 2,000 came out and then was added back.
Okay, so you have $226,445,059. Yes. Thank you. All right. Water and Sewer Enterprise Fund.
Should we vote on that grand total?
We can if you'd like, but
You don't have to. You can vote on the whole thing at the end.
at the end, yeah.
Thank you.
We try to avoid creating different numbers in case there's a mistake in the math. It's
Thank you for that. Water and Sewer Enterprise Fund, total personal services, $3,705,606. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor DiZoglio, seconded by Counselor Santos. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Total other expenses, $3,416,500. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Santos, seconded by Counselor DiZoglio. I'm in discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. Greater Lawrence Sanitary District, $4,200,000. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
by Counselor DiZoglio, seconded by Counselor Santos. I'm in discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Debt, $3,270,303. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor DiZoglio, seconded by Counselor Santos. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Employee benefits, $994,897. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor DiZoglio, seconded by Counselor Santos. I'm in discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Madam Clerk. Transfers out indirect costs, $3,303,810. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor DiZoglio, seconded by Counselor McLaren. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, Madam Clerk. So that total for enterprise funds is $18,891,116. Correct? Thank you, Madam Cathell. That concludes our budget for this evening. Is there anything you'd like to state, Madam Caffo? Because I saw you were...
Nope, just, I will send this out without all the columns as a final number, just so that everybody has it. We'll post that on the website.
Okay. Thank you. Reminder, counselors, at the beginning of this meeting, you all voted to move your meeting from June 1st to June 8th with a deadline of June 3rd for the administration. Also, you have a June 10th meeting. Is there anything else for the well-being of Methuen? Yes, Counselor Drew.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As discussed at length tonight, Greater Lawrence Tech has two communities that have already approved their budget. Lawrence is the only other town that hasn't, so I invite any other counselor to join me as I go stand at their city council and ask them to reject their budget.
Thank you. Any further announcements? Okay, with that being said, it is now, by the way, thank you for a successful FY 2027 budget, for all your collaboration and your questions to the administration. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Madam Caffo. Thank you, Madam Clerk, Mr. Solicitor, counselors. This meeting is now adjourned. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Counselor DiZoglio, seconded by Counselor Drew. It is 8:05 p.m. on your second read.
Good night, Methuen.